Mullah Idris began searching for suitable land to build a city inhabited by him, his soldiers, and the dignitaries of his state. So he chose land near Mount Zalog and began building a wall. But Selas hit the area and took away the wall, walls, and people, so the Mullah changed his project. In the following year, it occurred to Mullah Idris to establish the city on the banks of the Cebu River, southeast of the current location of the city. But he feared the flooding of the river. Yargish then returned to Idris informing him of what happened to him from the land, so he liked what he saw of that, and he asked about the owner of the land, so he was told by a people from Zawaka who are known as Bani Kar. So Mullah Idris said, "This is a good omen." So he sent for them and bought the placements of the city from them. After that, the Lord established his army on the right bank of the river in a place that was and still is called Karwawa and surrounded it with a fence of wood and reeds. Then he built a wall around the city and built the Mosque of the Sheikhs. Then he crossed to the left bank of the river and built another wall and the Mosque of the Nobles. Then he built a palace in the place where he lived during the construction of the city. He took it as a place for him, and he called it Dar al-Kaytown. Fez is the second largest city in Morocco after Casablanca, with a population of 1,112,072 people, according to the 2014 census, and the largest city in the Fez-Meknes region, in Morocco, where the city celebrated its 1,200th birthday in 2008. Fez is divided into three sections: Fez al-Bali, which is the old city, and New Fez, which was built in the 13th century AD, and the new city, which was built by the French during the French colonial period. The walls surrounding Fez al-Bali date back to the period of the rule of al-Nasir al-Mohad 1199 to 1213 AD. However, the doors that penetrate it bear most of the names dating back to the period of Idrisid and Zenati rule: Bab al-Fuda, Bab al-Kanisa, Bab al-Hamra, Bab al-Jadid. The walls and gates of the old city of Fez, declared a universal human heritage since 1981 by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, have remained steadfast in the face of time, bearing witness to the greatness, glory and nobility of the present, speaking of their contribution to the fortification of Fez in the face of all the invaders who tried to storm it and control it, because the defensive structure of the walls, gates, and towers prevented many times attempts to break into them. Researchers in the field of history and heritage, as well as historians, hardly disagree about the importance of high walls and huge doors, as these walls and doors, in addition to their defensive function and repelling repeated attacks on the city, are distinguished by an aesthetic function in which designers and engineers excelled in engraving and decorating walls and doors, which confirms the genius of architects. And at that time, we learned from the Islamic heritage and Arab civilization, according to the analysis of a number of researchers on the subject. Bab al-Jissa is the origin of Bab al-Ajissa, and the place where this gate was built is Humt al-Hafarin, above the old farmland. The door was founded by Prince al-Maghrawi Ajissa bin Dunas at the time of his disagreement with his brother al-Fuda bin Dunas. Bab al-Fuda is one of the gates of the city of Fez. It is one of the main gates of Fez. It is located in the eastern wall of Adwa al-Andalus. It is one of the most important gates of the historical wall of Fez. It is the main gate of Fez al-Bali from the eastern side. On the road leading to City Harizm, Bab Fatau is one of the historical and archaeological landmarks in Fez, and it also gives a vivid example of the extent to which Moroccan teachers and artists are able to adapt architecture to historical developments. One of the most important doors that affected the city's space and documented in the Marinid period is the Makina Gate, which is a historical gate to Fez. Bab Makina is located north of Fez Al Jadid and opposite the historic Kasbah of Cherarda. This huge door was built by order of the Alawite Sultan Hassanai. It was specially established to be a facility for the manufacture of weapons in 1885. Embracing a square, Bab al-Mukina is part of the sacred music festival every summer. Bab al-Shams, or the Gate of the Sun, is a gate located to the right of the Kasbah Bajlaud Gate, located between the Jainan Sabal Garden and the Moulay Idris High School in the Moroccan city of Fez. During the reign of Sultan Hassanai, it consists of 2 arched gates or 2 small entrances, each with 2 narrow pedestrian paths on either side. One of them is decorated with blue and green ceramic zellage, while the second is not. Both gates suffer a lot from vehicular traffic, and there are many scratches and damages on their surface. Bab Bajlaud is one of the most important gates of the wall surrounding Old Fez. This door is considered by many to be the main entrance to Fez El Bali. The Gate of Abu al-Junad in Fez is also considered one of the most famous landmarks of the Kingdom of Morocco, and it is one of the gates of the ancient city wall of Fez, which constitutes an essential entrance to this city and its popular markets. Bab al-Junad was built in Fez within the old wall by the French Protectorate authorities in Morocco in late 1913 and with designs inspired by the charming Andalusian architecture. In addition to the mosaic inscriptions, the most wonderful decorations, and the stone carvings arranged in a very wonderful way, to turn today into one of the most famous tourist destinations in the country. Dar Chawara is one of the 3 ancient tanneries in the Moroccan city of Fez. It was built in the 11th century and is the largest tanning house in the city. It is located near the Al Safran School on the bank of the river in the Fes Al Bali neighborhood, which is the oldest neighborhood in the ancient city. Since the establishment of the city of Fez, the tanning industry has continued in the same way over the centuries. Today, tanneries in Fez are considered one of the most important tourist destinations. The dower consisted of circular stone basins filled with dyes or liquids to soften the clay. Products made in tanneries are exported all over the world. The most obvious feature of tanneries is the stone vats filled with pots of dyes or white liquids. Cattle, sheep, goats, and camels are treated by soaking in liquids in ponds. First, he soaked in a white liquid made from cattle urine and feces. Quicklime baths, salt and water to soften the tough skin. This process takes 3 days and makes the skin softer to absorb the dye. Then the salal is dipped in tanning liquids made from natural vegetables, such as kachika for red, indigo for blue, and henna for orange. After getting wet, the leather dries under the sun. From leather, high-quality products are made, such as bags, coats, shoes, and slippers. Production involves manual labor without the aid of modern machinery, as it has been since the Middle Ages.